Alright, welcome back. Episode 4, converting a Freewing Cougar to Turbine. Last video we glued in the mounts, they're all dry, everything looks good. We're gonna drill the engine mounts, drill the mounts for the pipe, and we're gonna bond the tank in this video. First thing I want to just kind of get a general location of the tank. Not even going to worry about the tailpipe right this second. So once I said, again, you know, about 1/8 inch clearance between the pod screen and the end of the tank. Okay, so I'm just going to put a rough pencil line right here and there. Now I'm going to get the tank out of my way. So this is the step where you want to try to get the engine as close as you can on center line. I pretty much just eyeball down in the fuselage. You can put another thing I do is I can put a straight edge down the model and then eyeball down on that. I mean, so it's 2 and 2 1/4. I mean, everything looks pretty good to me. So we're just gonna draw some ticks. And then we're gonna, so I got good meat on the holes. So I'm drilling these with a number 50, you know, 16th is pretty close. And then on the pipe, I'm just gonna pop some holes in these right here. Oops. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start the screws for the mounts. They feel good. I can stick the engine in. I'll put the pipe in first. Just kind of nestle that back there. And we're going to screw the engine down 100%. Once again, the plug for the 3-wire goes against the top of the model. So then we're going to bond the tank in today too, and even though I leak check them after I manufacture them, we're going to leak check it again, and I'm going to show you how to do that, because if there's a leak and it's all bonded in the model, it's going to be a really bad day. All right, engine's in its happy place. So once again, I'm including this little heat shield thing here. So I'm just gonna kind of set that in there it doesn't really get bonded on until the vertical's on. And then I'm just gonna set this in here for a shim, because what you want is you want a kind of equal distance on the side here and equal distance on the top and the bottom. And the popsicle stick's gonna get us in the ballpark. So I line up the front of the bell mouth till like half the screws are shown, okay? So that looks pretty good. And then I also kind of eyeball down in the model and want to make sure that the engine's kind of just centered in the exhaust. Looks good, so I'm gonna hold it in place. I got my equal gaps here. Then you want to hold this and don't let it move. Okay. So now we're gonna unscrew the engine. Take the pipe back out. So once again, once you put the, once this bottom of the fuselage is glued on, it's very difficult to get the pipe out. You gotta physically unscrew the bell mouth if you ever gotta get the pipe out. So what we're gonna do here, now we're gonna take these holes here and we're gonna enlarge them to an 1/8 inch. Okay, we're going to give these a little deburr. All right, so this pipe's ready to go in. Oh, one thing I want to do before that happens. Take a little piece of like 220. I just want to scuff the pipe a little bit because we're going to actually bond on some shims that is going to be the spacers. So I do that at the 12, 6, 3, and 9 o'clock position. Because sometimes to get the engine in and out after the everything's put together, a lot of times you got to loosen up the pipe and you slide it aft a little bit, and it gives you just a little bit more room. And this will make the little shims. You know, I don't use a tailpipe ring or anything because we're only talking about an 1/8 inch gap. It's not worth blocking all that airflow. So I just bond on, I'll show you guys how to do it. I just bond on some little bitty 1/8 inch shims. So the tailpipe's going in, final time. I'm going to screw down. So if you took care when we were putting the tabs on the pipe, or when you put the tabs on the pipe and get everything on the center line, you know, everything should go very smoothly. Okay, let's look in the back, see how we did. It just a touch, you know, ever so close. Okay, I'm happy with that gap of side to side. And then the up and down, you know, the shims are going to control that. So there'll be a shim on all four corners. So right now we're just going to leave it like that. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to leak check the tank before we bond it in, okay? I went ahead and put the stopper together. I mean, it's real simple. I give you the stopper, the clunk, and the tubing here. Make sure everything's safetied. I like to orientate the safety, especially on the clunk, so that when the tank is in, or the stopper is in, the safety tail is on top. That way it's not riding against the bottom of the tank for a million cycles. So when I originally located the stopper, I put a little dot that indicates the top, and I orientated both safeties to the top, okay? So then I put a little lubricant on the O-ring. So, you know, visually check, everything looks good. I'm gonna screw this in. So dots at the top. I'm gonna give it just a little snug here. And there you go. Before we leak check it, I want to talk about one thing. That guy brought up a comment. When I originally did this tank, I knew there was going to be an issue. When you start to fill it, an air bubble would form here, and it would stay, you know, why the tank fills up here, because the clunk line ends right here. So the first one, you know, I knew there was going to be a problem, so I put it in the model, and it was kind of a pain in the butt, because as you were filling it, you had to do this a few times to get that air bubble to work up to the top. So what I did is I thought about it a little bit, and this is what the tanks look like on the inside, okay? So this is your, this line right here is the vent line going up to the top. Then I got another line here that's silver soldered to that, and high salt in. And what happens now is as the fuel level rises, okay, the air in this area gets pushed through here and exits there. It's like, you know, the fuel pressure building up is just forcing the air down this line. And this is the tank that I got in that Cougar over there, and it's been working really good. You don't have to do any tilting at all to get that air bubble to go away. Now, as the fuel goes down during the flight, you know, there's a slight bit of gurgle in here, but it's not an issue because the model's moving all over the place, and the fuel is always being picked up at the bottom of the sump. So, you know, I wanted to test this system, and it's working fine, and it's not going to be an issue at all. You still have just the slightest air bubble right here as you're filling it, or when you're done filling it. You know, sometimes you can tilt it once to get rid of it, but, you know, if you're losing a quarter ounce there, it's not the end of the world. So that's basically what the tanks look like on the inside. So we're ready to pressure test this now. Once again, man, I've had guys that they hook it up to an air compressor and pump in 20 PSI. And that's a bad thing to do, because these tanks are just vented to atmosphere. So mouth pressure, you know, quarter PSI is all you need, okay? So basically this tank it's 100% completed except being bonded in the model. So what I do is I use a 6-inch piece of Tygon here. This is what I use. It's just easier to put it on now than later. It's the Dubro extra large 5/32 ID. So you know, I don't know if I'm going to include this or not in the kit. It's, you know, everybody, you know, needs a different length and all that depending on how they set it up. So, so I got this safety on here. It's, you know, 100%. And then I just got a piece of aquarium line right here or something that I'm gonna blow into this, and I'm gonna push in, or I'm gonna kink this. Okay, so I'm gonna just put it in a bucket of water. I'm gonna watch for air bubbles and blow as hard as you can. So I didn't see nothing. If there was a leak, you'd be getting a very steady stream coming up of air. So we're going to wipe this down a second. And we're going to do our reverse carbon fiber, or our carbon paper technique to see where we got to put the Gorilla Glue. And that's gonna be it. All right, so I need a piece of carbon paper. So the dark part's gonna go up against the tank. Okay. So all that darkness, which is dark's a good thing to see, that's where we're gonna put our glue. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, we're ready to glue it in. So you don't need a whole lot. And I'm not even scuffing the tank, it's gonna stick fine. Now, even though we don't have black everywhere, you know, there may be some very minute gaps here and there, but this is all the glue you need. All right, then we're just gonna dust it. And then it's going home. So, and I did blow this out, make sure all the little crumbs of foam are out of it. And I don't see, oh, one thing I wanna do. I mentioned it in the last video that if you trim just a little bit of this out here, it makes life a lot easier getting your wire and tubing in. That's really hard to do after you bond the tank in. Oh, okay. There you go. And that's it. So I just put a little bit of weight on it. Just like that. We'll stick the engine in its spot just to make sure there ain't any problems. So that's where the engine's going. Upside down. So we got our gap that we're looking for there. tailpipe looks good. So basically we'll let this set and dry, and then either the next video or the one after that, we'll be contouring the bottom of the fuselage to finish that. And then I'm getting set up to show you the brakes right now. All right, thanks for watching.